kingdom. So there seems to be some trouble in the paradise. The paradise of Zufa. It's not paradise. You say, so to speak. So Jai Opetai is out there and he's got problems because, you know, on the 8th of March, he fought Brandon Glanton and he won. On the 19th of March, he was stripped of his IBF belt. IBF being one of the main belts, legitimate belts that have come down through history, through boxing history, amongst the other main ones. WBO, WBC, WBA, IBF is the one of them. And the Ring Magazine is a trinket. It's one amongst those belts that you hear of. Even in the announcements throughout the years, you hear. And this fighter has the WBC belt, he has the WBO belt, and then you might hear, and the Ring Magazine belt. But those are trinkets. The main belts are WBO, WBC, IBF, WBA. Sometimes one of those main champions has a WBC, sometimes they have a WBO, sometimes they have an IBF, but you know, on rare occasions you hear of both WBC and WBF, WBC and WBO, and IBF. I mean, that person has unified. You know that person has unified if you hear all those belts. And if you hear, and the Ring Magazine belt, it's just an addition, it's a trinket, it's an ornamental piece. It's part of it, it's nice, it's cute if you have it. But it's not just cute, it's great because it's one of the belts that has been running through, but it's not the main one amongst them, it's a trinket. How many times have you ever heard a champion fighting or a fighter fighting another fighter and the only belt up is the Ring Magazine belt? They are fighting for the Ring Magazine belt and it's a major fight. Rarely ever. Why is that? Guess why? Why it's not logical. Because if that champion was so great, how come he doesn't have a WBO? If that champion was so great, how come he doesn't have a WBC? If that champion was so great, how come he doesn't have either of those? Sometimes he might have an IBF only. Great. That's solid also. But then now he wants the WBC to add. So you unify it. Now it's an even greater champion. Right? So you never hear throughout history, this is a major fight, and you know, someone of championship age, where he's been fighting this long, and we expect he should have a title by now, and it's just for the Ring Magazine belt. You barely get that, if ever, because hold on a minute. So you've been out this long, and you only have a Ring Magazine belt. So how come you don't have a WBC, WBO? Right? So Ring Magazine belt is just a trinket. It's a trinket. Nothing wrong with it. It's a nice belt. It's been there throughout also. So it's an ornamental piece. It's not to be thrown away, but of course, the greats have had it too. Yes, of course they've had it because they had the other ones, the major ones, and then they had that included. So it's an inclusive belt. So it's those who don't really know boxing that will tell you, or those who are learning boxing, you know, that will tell you that the Ring Magazine is the main belt. No, it's not. It can't possibly be the main belt. It's one of them, and yes, the main champions have held it, of course. So you still want it too, if you can. But that's not the one to have or the one or two to have. You have it inclusively, not exclusively. So how come Jai has the Ring Magazine belt exclusively? How come that's the only belt he has that is recognized as one of the belts, but just a trinket, you know, ornamental? It's a nice earring to have. No one's saying it's fake, it's pure diamonds, but it's not the grand belt or one of the grand belt. It comes along with it. It's a sister belt. It is part of the family, but it's not the elder brother or the other brothers, nor the papa. You understand? So this is how we look at the belts. So now they're in a situation where Jai is fighting Noel Micklin from Australia. And Jai was stripped of his belt. He didn't relinquish his belt. Nobody beat him, but he was stripped of his belt, the IBF belt. He was stripped on the 19th of March this year. He was stripped of his belt. And why was he stripped? IBF stated that he broke the rules, one of the articles of the one of the articles of the IBF rules, which stated that the fighter was, this is a breach of a fighter fighting for a belt which is not sanctioned by the IBF, by the organization, which is one of the legitimate organizations of boxing. And that belt would be the Zuffa belt. Now the issue is, yes, Turki Al-Sheikh, who is backing Dana White, who owns the Zuffa entity. Turki Al-Sheikh, who backed him into this, in fact, encouraged him to do this, and really, Turki Al-Sheikh has been doing marvelous things in boxing. Turki Al-Sheikh has been a wonder in boxing, absolutely incredible, fabulous. He's doing great things in boxing. So, we're not going to diss Turki Al-Sheikh in this circumstance. He has come in as someone who's greatly passionate about boxing, interested in boxing, and obviously, evidently, still, learning the ropes in terms of what really boxing is. He has interest. He knows generally what boxing is, but the way it's run, of course, you could say he's new to this in many respects. But he wants to, develop the situation and make himself available to be a very positive addition to the situation of boxing. And he's tried, and he's done this with a lot of great, huge, colossal funds, which are actually unprecedented in the not only the degree, how much money is coming, but in the consistency and the speed and the rate at which that money is being made available. Of course, that can't continue indefinitely, and this is due to his massive backing by MBS, the ruling factor of Saudi Arabia, who's doing marvelous things in Saudi Arabia, and of course sports and certain other entertainment pieces are a great part of what he's doing to be at the front seat of Saudi Arabia's perception and public drive in terms of marketing and that aspect of it. So you can almost say there's endless dollars, but it's not endless. There are endless dollars where it came from, but there can't possibly be endless dollars in this particular venture, because he still has to make dollars and cents. Not just dollars and cents, but dollars and cents. Nobody's stupid in the game. So they bought Jai Opetai, Zuffa, and Turki Al-Sheikh made it very clear. Turki Al-Sheikh made it very clear recently that he wasn't in support of the other belts, the other organizations, and that Zuffa was going to be the exclusive belt and company that they were going to operate as the main face of boxing in terms of organization. The problem with that is obviously he didn't realize that that's impossible. It's impossible to do, because old media knows boxing and recognizes all the organizations which have been there from day one: WBC, WBO, IBF, WBA, and new media also recognizes. And the entire world, the boxing fans of old and of new, and actual history, which means outside of sport, because history is history regardless. History covers various topics, including sport. Also know and recognize and have records of these organizations, which are the legitimate boxing organizations. That cannot be denied, that cannot be refuted, that cannot be cast away, cast aside and ignored. So another belt cannot just come in and act as boxing itself. Is it absolutely impossible? No one, you can't do this. You can't do that. Boxing, as I said, doesn't only run in the United States. It runs in US, it runs in UK, it runs in Mexico. Honduras, fighters from Mexico, from Honduras, from Ghana, I said from Nigeria. Yeah? And it's over 100-year plus situation boxing is. And I've said, mighty fighters, O'Sullivan, over 100 years ago, Jack Dempsey, Gene Tunney, Jack Johnson, Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, Ezra Charles, the Manasseh Mona, the Brown Bomber, yes, Joe Louis, many other great fighters, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, Whitaker. That's a list of incredible fighters throughout history and throughout nations, as you see how the nations crisscross. UK fighters, Frank Bruno, Ricky Hatton, the late Ricky Hatton, and it goes on and on. And then down to the ones we've had in this period of time as well. Yes, there was Prince Nassim as well, Joe Kawasaki, many great fighters. So boxing isn't something you can just pull up and just, as I said, just say we are boxing, we're this company and we are boxing. It doesn't work like that. It just does not work like that, because you are really going to be up against the wind, up against the forces of reality, the forces of nature, to begin to eliminate that. The Zuffa belt is obviously not a legitimate belt. It's obviously not. Everybody, history, fighters, fans, media, old media, new media, cats, dogs, all know that it's not. So you can enjoy yourself and make fun and create a nice little organization. And I understand. Turkey wanted to do something and he wanted to separate himself, and he offered Dana White. He spoke to him and told him, this is what I want to do. And of course, he got my back in and here's all this money and here's this and that. So what do we expect Dana to do? To say, no, I'm not doing it. So it's not like you can see Dana was going to have to go. So Dana took it up. I'll see what I can do. Dana's real expertise is in MMA organization. That's really what his expertise is. And as you can see, the UFC is successful, very successful. It's $1 billion enterprise. And they run the game with great success as far as the financial marketing machine that they've operated there. So that's great. But boxing, to translate that into boxing, which is an already known entity as a whole sport, is literally impossible. It's completely different. You can be successful in martial arts world, but it's different because the fans and the media already know how boxing runs. So now we have Jai Opetai trying to figure out his way. He has this fight, but he has only the Zuffa belt, and he has a ring magazine to go along with it. But as much as one wants to hype it, and I do feel sorry for him in one sense, but he did make his bed in here, and of course he doesn't have to lie. I say he has to lie in it, but he doesn't have to. Hopefully they figure a way out of this melee, and we get something positive out of it. But one of the big things coming up in all this is people trying to say, that, including himself, that David Benavidez is avoiding him, but David now has the excuse, perfect excuse, which can't be denied, that Jai left boxing. He left the boxing world, and he's now away somewhere else. So as you can see, Dana White was sent on an expedition like Christopher Columbus by Turkey al-Sheikh. Go out and do this. Go out and do this great thing. I want you to come back with this. He's not going to say no. We've got all these treasures waiting for you. Of course, he's going to say yes. But the problem is they're lost at sea now. And they're trying to figure a way out and around this, but it's very difficult. It's almost impossible, but there are some solutions. I'm not going to say it. Like I said, you know, in my time as a commodities broker, I fully understand and other business, the complete mechanisms of these deals and all the things that go along with it. And as an extreme martial artist, I'm 100% involved mentally and invested in this because I'm passionate and I have my own swoop on boxing right now. So I have my eyes on this situation, but this is the thing. This is what they have to deal with now. They're gonna have to. There's a way to handle this. There is a way, but so far they're lost at sea. And Benavidez can say you left boxing. You literally left boxing because now there could be a drive by fans urging Benavidez to go and unify, because there will be the question of, well, why don't you go and unify? Why don't you go and unify? Unify with Opetai. But Benavidez would have nothing to say, but unify with what? What does Jai have? The ring belt? You know, I'm not in a hurry to to lose, potentially. There's a potential loss there. It's not like Jai is a little pussy boy. Even if Benavidez is confident, but there's a potential loss there. So what am I to gain? That's what Benavidez could say. What am I to gain trying to pursue this when you have nothing to offer as far as unification? As far as a massive fight, yes, that is something to gain. But in terms of, oh, you're ducking me. Well, oh yeah, he is, because you've been challenged by one of the main fighters. That would be a duck. But he could say, well, right now I'm going after some belts, and if you're going after those belts, you don't have none. You don't have none. And you don't, you know, how you don't have the Ring Magazine belt is not sufficient. Zuffa belt is a non-entity in recognition. It doesn't mean anything. And unify what? There's nothing to unify. So how can one say Benavidez needs to unify? Unify what? You don't have the IBF belt. You don't have any of the main belts. So what am I unifying? The Zuffa belt is not a belt. That's just, I might as well have a Gucci belt. Well, what's the difference? But there is a way around it. I'm not going to say. But they will have to contact me if they want to know what the way around it is. However, and even that way is a... So, anyways, this is the thing. The mystery of Zuffa. The mystery of Zuffa. The myth of Zuffa. Like I said last time, it was something of a conundrum. It was something of a puzzle, which the entire boxing world was confused about, because it was a mist that no one could understand. It was an enigma to open. That was very, very confusing. And the confusion, guess what? It's not the fans that are confused only. Even Zuffa is confused, because they didn't understand what they were up against, or what they were dealing with. They lost the sea. Yes. Lost the sea. However, and they didn't even know if the world had an end. Like Columbus days. Are they going to fall off? But like I said before, now with new disciplines like cosmology, geography, geology, and all sorts, one is able to know that no, you don't fall off the edge. So the situation now is dire for them, but they will have to come to a conclusion and a solution to it, which they at present don't have. Hopefully they will. And we'll let you know the rest of the story on Imperial Kingdom with extreme martial artist, combat master, Olisa, Eric Ossai. Till next time.